Hello students, today we will be discussing about introduction to library automation, under that subtopic library automation history, need and purpose. Introduction to library automation, first of all it brings us changes in the management functions. Next one is accessibility of resources with modern technologies. We can manage resources very efficiently and users feel enhanced in their operations, the real experience, and workflows are streamlined. It supports management and decision making. Automation helps in the management of diverse materials. It helps to access print, digital materials, all the print and digital materials, including remote access to those resources. Automation enables cooperation, collaboration through resource sharing and consortia, and enables systematic approach to manage and access resources in a dynamic way. With integrated tools like digital repositories and self checkouts, users experience easy and seamless flow in accessing resources, no difficulty, no hardness, easy operations. Planning. Now, in automation, we should plan the assessment of needs, system selection, data migration and training. It normally, what is automation? It just brings about transition from manual to automation, man to machine, dealing with aspects such as digitization of catalog, preservation of resources, adhering to copyright issues and licensing agreements. Licensing agreements comes with e-resources. Through interoperability and adaptability, library automation makes library a dynamic user-centric space in digital environment. Normally, it brings about modernization of libraries and enjoying the benefits of automating all in-house operation, all the operation, acquisition, technical, cataloging, circulation, all the operations are automized, and it brings about efficiency of staff and minimizing human mistakes, avoiding repetitive tasks with the use of artificial intelligence and algorithms which works in the machine avoids repetitive tasks. Then we will be concentrating on quality services integrated with latest technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, Internet of Things. What is virtual reality? Virtual reality is you will be immersed in the digital world. You will, like example is visual touring of libraries and visual survey of agricultural fields, all visual, like virtual survey. It is virtual survey of school or libraries and virtual field surveys. Augmented reality is it uses a camera, and it uses a camera, for example, it is also in the digital world. Suppose example is Google Maps. In Google Maps, the application uses the mobile app to navigate and show you the location. So, you are like walking into the streets, and Internet of Things is like that, which all the systems are physically connected, devices are physically connected, but they are even sensors are connected. Internet of Things, there is no human intervention. Machines interact with each other and brings about security. If any particular machine does anything wrong or mistakes, it will immediately identify that mistake with Internet protocol address. Each machine will have a unique number. To learn about data driven approach, decision making, resource allocation and collection development based on the data that is provided by the system. Following standards in open access protocols like Z39.50 and open access initiatives, PHP protocol for metadata harvesting, it supports sharing of bibliographic records across libraries, helps us to manage variety of resources, print books, periodicals and multimedia and e-books. Unrestricted access. Unrestricted access means distant education users can be provided with 24/7 access through virtual reference services. With proper authentication, libraries can guide users in improving information literacy. Then collaborative sharing and consortia brings down cost. Cost comes down because of shared purchasing. Digital preservation. Digital access to resources through backups, format migration, and same time managing the integrity and security of data. What is definition of library automation? American Library Association defines it is the use of computers and data processing unit to carry functions, library functions such as cataloging, circulation, acquisition and information retrieval. Manual cataloging cards and circulation cards were very time consuming because it was manually maintained according to due date slips and due date cards and author cards. And similarly, cataloging cards also were difficult to manage because we have to write it manually and then get it typed and all. So, that was a very time consuming. In 1960s, the computer technology evolved and Library of Congress initiated machine readable cataloging, and it was the first beginning of machine handling catalog cards. 1970, integrated library system, all the functions like acquisition, cataloging, circulation were consolidated into an integrated software. Developed organizations like OCLC supported resource sharing through standard database. In 1980s, there was a revolution of CD-ROM technology. They had to adoption of MARC and CD-ROM technology. Data management was easy and retrieval was easy. CDS ISIS, computerized documentation services, integrated set of information systems developed by UNESCO was the unique database which helped. INSTOC was the first organization to start and adopted CDS ISIS for bibliographic records, and for 1990s the digital revolution took place. So, internet and web allowed public access catalog, online public access catalog and remote access to the contents through digital libraries. 2000 system integration was seen, that is open access standards like XML, MARC XML for smooth interoperability and digital repositories for content preservation and access. 20th century we could see only these things. Then in 2000 system integration was seen, open MARC XML standards like MARC XML for smooth interoperability and digital repository for content preservation and access. 2010 cloud based technologies, mobile access, integrated library system and mobile access. Users could use mobile for accessing the library records. This was a great user experience. 2020 artificial intelligence and machine learning with advancements and personalized recommendations was adapted. Then we already talked about use of VR, AR and IoT, Internet of Things, attracting many users. Early developments, library used punched cards and microfilm. Next generation computers in 60s and 70s, computers information technology brought about enabling to automate cataloging, circulation and inventory management and computerized systems. This helped library to concentrate on quality based services. Next, in the 20th century, integrated library system and could be possible which combined all the functions into one single platform. So, integrated library solutions manage cataloging, acquisition, serials management and pattern services. Later on, after that we could see web technology and cloud computing, open source software with interoperability standards has transformed libraries to serve users with updated technology. Need and purpose of automation. Why do we do automation? To in-house, all the in-house operations should be managed by machines, and it brings about quality based services, and users will have improved access to resources via online catalogs and discovery services, thus enabling users to access the digital repositories and databases from any location. Resource sharing and collaborations could be possible through consortia and networks, allowing libraries to share their materials, cataloging materials, collection development, allowing access to resources beyond the institution. Data driven decision making, all the data which reports were generated from the system can be used for collection building, improving the collection, improving services to users. Modernized user experience. So, users started experience a modernized way of accessing resources, no going anywhere, sitting in their own house they can access resources because remote access was possible, and it became a real user centric environment. OPAC, online public access catalog was possible, which helps pattern to search and locate resources electronically. So, in this case even self checkout was possible, though many university libraries do not follow this self checkout and all because it is little cost consuming. So, It is self checkouts in IITs and all, they manage this and they enjoy this benefit of not human intervention is not there. The users can go directly and self checkout without visiting the library, and in renewals also possible without visiting the library. Then personalized alerts and recommendation. There are certain e-resources and databases. If you personally register to those services, if any articles is published on your topic, on your topic of interest, then it will be shown as an alert. Then you can access those resources by sitting in your own place in your desktop. Then user feedback helps us to change the user needs and improvise the user needs. Cost saving because of centralized acquisition, sharing of costs, it was economical. Efficient circulation system, because efficient circulation system, why we say is because it can integrated systems help to manage all the modules, and you can draw any data from the circulation section. So, patent records are available, book records are available. So, easy issue and return operations. In this way, the circulation turnaround time is reduced. That means no queuing. You can no need of standing in the queues to return the book. So, Indian experiences of library automation. We will see the Indian experiences. We told about that. So, punched cards and computers were used in the 1960s. In 80s and 90s, there was standalone systems, and the standalone system which managed integrated library management system. It was called as integrated library management system. Then it was used for cataloging, circulation, etc. These systems were built based on third generation computers, and programming language used was COBOL. Then we saw the emergence of OPAC, online public access catalog, to access the resources easily. Period 2000 to 2010. Again we could see integrated library operation. Earlier we saw integrated library operation, which was only confined to circulation, cataloging, etc. and indexing. But now we could see even digital libraries emerged. We saw that all the integrated operations could be accessed in a single platform, multiple operations in a single platform. At the same time, digital libraries emerged with cloud-based services. So, there was cost control and flexibility. There was growing interest in artificial intelligence and machine learning, which brought about greatest changes in the user's experience in accessing resources very efficiently and with speed. Evolution of library automation in India. 1960 we could see early experiments, that is punched card system. Then 1980s we could see introduction to library software, CDS, ISIS and implement. 1990 OPAC and digital catalog, online public access catalog. 2000s e-resources and digital libraries, e-resources, e-books, e-journals. 220 we see modern technology, cloud computing and RFID and artificial intelligence. RFID is for security reasons and for taking out of the library books and all. It is used for security and self-in and self-checkout operations. In short, India could see library automation in 1970 to 80s. Mainframe computers were used, and they used this CDS, ISIS for bibliographic records and indexing. And Instock was the first organization which adopted this. Next we could see the 1980 and 90 networking and institutional support. NIC, National Information Center, ERNET Educational Resources, Education Network, InflibNet and UGC institutions support we could get. Then we could see digital and open source era 2000 to 2010, WebAPAG, Soul software, Koha and DSpace for digital libraries, library consortia developed. Smart libraries next, 2020 we could see smart libraries. How? By managing cloud management systems, cloud integrated management systems, artificial intelligence based discovery tools. Discovery tools artificial based is like in all the resources, whether it is theses or books or online journals, ebooks, everything could be accessed in with a single interface. Users need not change the interface or worry about it. Whatever you want to access, you can just type it and access it. This was and mobile access. Mobile app was possible, and mobile app could be downloaded, and they could enjoy the access of full text and also opaque features. Automation activities in India with respect to academic institutions. Integrated library management system was combined with RFID technologies to strengthen security and to help in self checkout. Digital and institutional repository systems also were helpful to preserve and disseminate knowledge. Digital library management systems organize digital resources like e-books and databases. Now they could provide remote access through portals and mobile app integrated, while learning management system was also possible for academic support. Use of cloud-based systems and open source softwares enabled like Koha, DSpace for reduced costs, artificial intelligence, etc. Improved service interactions, while with standard protocols like OAI, PHP could change, we could change data, and there was great interoperability. Electronic resource management. All the resources could be managed electronically. Example is library consortia in FlipNet. They could manage the resources and providing ERM, electronic resource management, where any library can log into with their institution ID and see the usage statistics of their own institution to next time renew or not to renew the databases. They can see the usage statistics and also feel each resources usage can be known, and also they can share it in the Web 2 technologies. Web 2 technologies were integrated, like they can interact with the library with blogs, wikis and social media, and massive open online content was available with supportive learning to distant education students. Role of various agencies. Now when we come to role of various agencies, we can see MHRD. Earlier it was MHRD, now it is Ministry of Education. It had the great function, and with information and focused on information and communication technology, it was concentrating to promote e-learning and facilitate access to high quality educational resources, and through digital libraries and other online platforms. UGC, University Grants Commission, also was promoting the automation of libraries in all institutions. They provided technical support, and also they have provided funding, and policies were made by the UGC. UGC set up InflipNet, Information and Library Network, to provide resource sharing and consortia among libraries. Now next coming is UGC really supported by providing funds to the libraries for automating their in-house operations. So any modern technology UGC was ready to fund. National Knowledge Commission, that was established in 2005, and they gave importance to information access and knowledge. They wanted to bring about a knowledge based society. It has recommended for the establishment of National Digital Library and development of library networks to share resources among libraries. National Informatics Center. NIC is National Informatics Center. They were very instrumental in bringing out a software called eGrandhalaya, and they provided technical support. This eGrandhalaya software is normally used by government organizations like Jawahar Navodaya and central schools were using this software. It was also supported all the modules like acquisition, cataloging, serials control and circulation. It played a great role in implementation of e-governance initiative. It was supporting e-governance, which contributed to library automation and digitization of library services. Next is Document Research and Training Center. Document and Research and Training Center the founder was Ranganathan, S.R. Ranganathan. He contributed to automation and modernization, and DRTC develops software solutions and conducts training programs, also conducts research on latest technologies in libraries and modernization of libraries and training programs. Any institution can send their any staff can be sent to the DRTC for training, and the institution bears the cost. In government organization, normally UGC funded institutions. Technologies. International agencies like UNESCO and IFLA and Bill Melinda Gates Foundation have contributed to the automation efforts by providing funds, technical assistance, thus promoting global best practices. Early adopters of library automation in India. Several institutions started automating their services. Seeing one, other was also very envious and started operating. Indian Institute of Science was the first one to operate this, and in 1980s they developed their own software, Indus-AIM, which managed acquisition, cataloging, circulation and serials control. Next was Indian Institute of Technology. Indian Institute of Technology was another one to implement in 1980s, which provide access to catalog records and circulation services. Indira Gandhi National Open University was also an early adopter of library automation. They implemented the integrated library system, it is called ILMS, in the early 1990s, and made their vast collection available, catered to the needs of all the users. Jawaharlal Nehru University was another university which started implementing library automation, focusing on, they wanted to modernize their services, and so they also started operating their in-house, automating their in-house operations, etc. Then Pune University also was one of the early adopter. They have started this automation in the early 90s and led to the development of library automation and implementing all the services. University of Hyderabad in 1990, they started automating all the library operations such as cataloging, circulation and acquisition. These things were only compatible those days, because serials was a module which had lots of problems. I mean problems in publishing, the publisher will publish late or missing issues. So, this was always a complicated module in library and information science. Serials control was always a complicated module. We had to, the vendor has to customize all the time, and there should be changes had to make. So, this serial control was implemented very late in University of Hyderabad. By 1995, OPAC was provided to the campus community. Online public access catalog was provided to campus community. Role of InflibNet. InflibNet was set up by UGC for sharing all the resources among the libraries, and resources could be easily accessible to the students and for research and studying. This was very important, resource sharing was very important to conduct research. So, there is research development also took place during this period. The role of InflibNet had developed SOL. SOL is software for university libraries. Many university libraries, it is tailored according to the needs of the university library. So, SOL software was developed by InflibNet, and it was also given to all the libraries, and they used to get the persons from InflibNet used to come and train them, or they could go to InflibNet and they should attend the training programs on using the software SOL. Training and capacity building. They had all the time providing training in the upgraded technology, system skills, digitization, digital repositories. Digital repository, one great example is institutional repositories, theses, and they have made it mandatory now that every university has to upload their thesis into the InflibNet portal. So, this was very, InflibNet was very strict and very sharp, that it had to force upon the university to upload their thesis, so that all the students and anybody can access the full text of the thesis to know what is the topic that are covered and how they have to go about writing a thesis. All this was very clear. So, digital repositories was very mandatory by that has to be implemented by all the universities, and there are even small universities which has contributed to institutional repository in a large way. Even small universities which could upload their thesis in hundreds, 200, 300s and all at a time. So, this was a great development in it. InflibNet was very much helpful in resource sharing. They brought about institutional repository. I told the institutional repository is theses and dissertations of the library, which has to be uploaded to the InflibNet portal. Then next one is institutional repository can also be faculty's publications. Faculty can upload their papers in the portal, and that also can be shared. But many faculty do not do this because they do not want to share their research publications. Anyway, it was also one of the initiatives that was taken by InflibNet to promote institutional repository. InfliBnet is e-journals consortium. It was first called as e-journals consortium. Later on it was called as e-Sindhu consortium. That is, all the databases and journals will be provided by InfliBnet to all the universities free of cost. Now it is included in one nation, one subscription. That is, for one whole nation, only one time they will pay, and they can access to the resource of 13,000 plus journals are accessible from over 30 publishers, like important publishers like Elsevier, Wiley, Springer, Nature. They could all, their content is also there in this e-journals consortium. So, all high level content, high quality content was made available to all the students across India. Then InfliBnet Center's Document Delivery Center. There is a Document Delivery Center which was provided by Informatics India, JCCC, content customized articles through eShow Sindhu. 26 libraries are participating. University of Hyderabad is also one of the libraries participating. There they could share the resources. Suppose a student requests for an article, if it is there, it will automatically get downloaded. Otherwise, it will go to the library which has the article, and the librarian will also know about it. The librarian where the user has requested will know which user has requested, because he will know the email ID, and immediately he will ask the particular institutions to send the soft copy of that article, and if he receives the soft copy, he will communicate to the user. This all happens within one or 2 days. Earlier there was interlibrary loan concept. We have to write a library through a letter, or we have to send by post. All this took nearly 1 month, and research got delayed. Now it is not like that. Easy access to materials over JCCC eShow Sindhu. This content could be shared easily. Then promoting open source software. Libraries, InfliBnet also promoted open source software to help libraries to reduce their cost and encourage customization. Any software vendor, we can customize our software, because nowadays it's very easy with artificial intelligence, machine learning. Anybody can customize their software. If they want to add new features, they can do it. Koha is the software which is open source software. Evergreen is another software customized for all libraries. PHP MyBiblio is another software which follows Mark 21 standards and Unimark standards. OpenBiblio is another software. Then now Inventio for research libraries. New Journalib is open software and cloud based, following Mark 21 Unimark formats. Flipsys is another software. Koha is also open source software. New Journalib is also open source software. eGranthalaya is promoted by National Informatics Center. Alice for Windows, another open source software. Libman. These are all softwares that offers lots of customization and international standards. They follow international standard Mark 21, and through now through digital or transformation, distance education people could learn, manage, access resources in friendly platforms. Artificial intelligence and machine learning could bring personalized features to the user community. Virtual and augmented reality could take them to interactive tutorials, library tools, visual representation of complex concept. With this, we will conclude that automation has brought about more modernized changes to all the universities, and universities can share resources across India. Thank you.